keep on watching and I'm going to tell you why this is a rare find. Hey guys, I'm here at the Fantastic Finds Antique Mall in Conover, North Carolina. If you've never been here before, it is right across from the John Deere store, okay? I love this. This is so cute. He's asking $125 for this metal Ferris wheel. It plays 30 songs. It plays 15 Christmas carols and 15 all-time classics. He has this rare peacock blue basket weave pie plate. You can use it as a pie plate or a casserole dish. There's 2 pieces to it, and he's asking $85 for it. This Windstone Wizard has been marked down to $95. It retails for $368. Let's talk about this marble top table, y'all. He had $169 on this table, but he is taking 20% off of it. This is a marble top table with metal legs that are lions, and you got to see the detail on these lions. This is a gorgeous table. It would look great in an entryway or to use it as a sofa table. Look at the detail on this thing. It's just stunning. It is very heavy. You will need to bring help to load it. The top portion does come off. It is marble and it just sits on top of this metal base. But look at this. Isn't this just gorgeous? Now remember, it's 20% off of $169 right now. These tables sell for anywhere from $300 to $2,500, so you're getting a bargain. If you're a golfer, you might enjoy this one. This is a golfer trying to retrieve a lost golf ball lamp. It is $47.50. It's super cute. This metal kitchen design wall art is $65. It is a super unique piece, y'all. This vintage Western Auto flyer wagon is a rare find because it's in like very good condition, y'all. It's rare to find one in this good of condition. He's asking $125 for this with a 15% discount. It's in very good condition. Here's a picture of it. Someone correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, but I'm pretty sure this is one of Junkin Moore's booths. They have like 4 or 5 booths throughout this antique mall, is my understanding, and I will definitely be showing you one of those later on. They always have some fabulous stuff, y'all, so you got to come in and check out their booths. I'm pretty sure I met his wife earlier today when I was filming. At least I think that's who I met. I've met so many vendors while I'm filming in here. I'm sorry if I've confused any of you with anyone else. It's hard to keep up with everybody's names because there's 4 buildings of antique vendors in here, y'all. There is a lot of vendors to get to know. I would like to say hello and welcome to all of my viewers. If you are a returning viewer, then you know this is part of Miss Sheila's booth, which I will take you into in just a moment. But look at all of these lovely things she has out with red in them, just in time for Valentine's Day. I love these little candle holders. And check out these sweet little Valentine boxes. Aren't they just wonderful? Valentine's Day is just a few days away, so make sure you come on in and pick up that special vintage gift for your Valentine. Milk glass is good to decorate with any time of the year, but especially during spring and summertime and for those spring and summer weddings, y'all. Look at this little peacock shelf sitter. Isn't it just darling? It's perfect for spring and summer, don't you think? Look at the colors, and I love these little beaded legs. If If you go back and watch my previous Fantastic Finds videos in that playlist, then you will probably see that I feature Miss Sheila's booth all of the time because it is always so neatly organized and she keeps up with her seasonal decor. She's usually pretty quick to switch out all of the decor for each season. She makes sure she keeps her booth nice and fresh. She sells a lot of stuff pretty fast, so if you see something in here that you think you might want, you better get on down there and get it before it's gone. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, did you see those 20% off signs? She has them all over her booth. She often will mark things down about 20% every now and then once she gets her booth reset for each of the seasons. So don't forget to look for those signs to see if she's running that 20% off discount on those already low prices in her booth. We're going to head on over to the booth next door where there's a couple of really cool items for Valentine's Day. This cute little red teapot she has right here would be a great Valentine's Day gift. The last time I filmed in her booth, just recently, she had two of these pictures here. I think the other one that sold was from the 1920s. It was really old. I'm glad she sold it though. And here's a beautiful red glass heart paperweight that would be perfect for Valentine's Day too. Look at these fabulous little cats. These are so cute and they're white, so they're good to decorate with any time of the year, but especially for spring and summer. Look at all of this gorgeous glassware she has to choose from, but most importantly, look at the prices. Such great prices. This vintage desktop magnifying glass is $49.99. There's some vintage toys. I can't believe no one's bought this. $59.99 because it is cast iron. I like that. The vintage buffet is $199. $199.95. This little crystal trinket dish is $4.95. The marble mortar and pestle is $17.95. And the tall clear glass paperweight is $12.95. Vintage hamper, $42. You will notice that occasionally I have to walk through pretty quickly. Don't really stop to look at a lot because there's other customers and I'm trying to avoid them and stay out of their way. And there's also quite a few vendors in here on this particular morning trying to refresh their booths. This vendor is right inside of the door in building number 2. They've been running a 40% off sale for the past couple of weeks and they have sold a lot of stuff. So if you see something that you would like to get, you better hurry up and get down there and get it before it's gone. The gold frame mirror hanging there is $59, but remember, it's 40% off of the $59. I just met a couple of ladies. One of them had came back because she wanted a chair that was here in this booth and it was 40% off, but she went home, thought about it, over the weekend or whatever, came back to get it, and it's already been sold. That's how fast stuff sells here in this antique mall. So once again, if you see something that you like, don't hesitate, go get it. This is more industrial style. So Depending on your taste, you can come in here and find mid-century modern. You can find vintage items that are a little bit more modern, like from the 2000s. You can find things from the early 1900s. I've seen things in here that are from like the 17 or 1800s. You can find just about anything in here that's vintage. There's lots of different vendors with lots of different booths. Some of the vendors might have 3 or 4 booths, and there's vendors in here that only have 1 booth. But you will find an eclectic mix of glassware and decor in here. This is a blue rare Roseville oil pot. They're asking $95 for it, but now remember, it's 40% off of that, and they're using it as an umbrella stand. I wanted to show you this Macbeth Evans Sovereign pitcher. It has got the gold bands around it with the ice lip and 2 matching glasses. It has had a price reduction to $14.95. This vintage doll bed with a canopy is gorgeous, and she's asking $39.95 for this. It's in really good condition, y'all. She has a couple of brass pieces over here to choose from too if you like brass. You got to make sure you check all of the nooks and crannies in here because they maximize their space in these booths, y'all. So you got to take a really good look around. She does have this vintage glass corn on the cob if you're one of those people that like to collect the vintage glass fruits and vegetables. $55. It's a cabinet washstand. This is one of my favorite booths because I love to read. If you like to read, they sell all books in this booth for $1. It doesn't matter if it's a paperback or a hardback, it's $1 a book. Fenton Charlton Pink. This vase is Fenton, the Charlton Pink, and look at how pretty it is. And it has the original stickers there on the bottom. This is a gorgeous piece, and there's 2 of these, and they are priced individually. This purple basket is also just gorgeous. Here's the original paperwork. This purple basket is $90. It is also a Fenton, and it's signed on the bottom. This darling little basket right here is also a Fenton, and they're asking $35 for it. It is also signed on the bottom. This is Junk & Moore's booth. They have at least 3 booths. I thought it was 4 or 5, but I think one of the ladies said it was like only 3. Anyway, they got this gorgeous white pie safe right here. This goes with farmhouse style decor really well. They're asking $175 for this. This cabinet is so pretty. My grandparents had one. My great-grandparents had one. $149. This is a different booth, and they're asking $15 for this gorgeous carnival glass bowl. The thrift stores are absolutely going to hate this. I'm going to take you back here and show you just how inexpensive some of the vintage items are right now in some of these booths. Watch the screen because I am going to show you the prices so that you will believe me when I tell you that some of the vendors are selling vintage glassware and knickknacks cheaper in this antique mall than you can find in any of the local area thrift stores right now. The thrift stores have all marked up their prices to the point it's ridiculous, and some of them never have markdowns. So you can actually come in here and find vintage items marked down and buy it cheaper in the antique mall than at a thrift store. Alrighty guys, I was just walking through here to give you a general idea of the layout of this section. You have to remember this antique mall has 4 connected buildings. There's lots of vendors in here, lots of different size booths, and they all sell different kinds of things. So get in here and check this out. They're asking $475 for this granite top buffet, but they have marked it 20% off. I know I was moving through here pretty quickly, but I just wanted to give you a general idea of the layout of this section of the antique mall because right now it's really busy and there's a lot of vendors in here this morning. Some are trying to reset their booths, you know, change out their Christmas decor and bring in some spring items and just kind of freshen everything up. So I'm just trying to stay out of everybody's way. Here's a few items that would be really cute to use in your spring and summer decor. And once again, I want you to pay attention to these prices because I've been very disappointed with the thrift stores pricing lately. You know, I'm always bragging about how cheap it is to go to the thrift stores, but some of them are just really pricing stuff higher than the antique malls right now. And it is just crazy to me. The main reason I create thrifting and shopping content for y'all is so that you can see where the bargains are. And sometimes those bargain places change faster than you can blink, it would seem. Right now, this particular antique mall has some of the best prices around. And I have said it and I will say it again and again throughout this video, I'm sure. Right now, they have some items that are priced cheaper than what the thrift stores are pricing things. This is a pretty quilt stand. A lot of times they're selling the quilts on the stand, but the stands themselves will not be for sale. $45 for the rocker. I was trying to just give you a quick look around at the setup back here in the various booths. There are a lot of customers around me even though you can't see them, so I'm trying to move quickly through here. Those are all vintage Avon cologne bottles on the top shelf, and this carnival glass basket is $55. Here's a little FYI, each booth vendor gets to set their own prices, so you might see that carnival glass basket in another booth, one exactly like it or similar to it, and it might be priced more or less than $55 since each vendor gets to price their items. This blue glass bohemian bowl is $60. Bohemian decor usually sells at a much higher price. This piece would be perfect to hang right at the edge of a covered front or back porch, y'all. This is upcycled vintage glass. They have upcycled it into this bird feeder. I think this thing is just absolutely gorgeous, and it will be stunning hanging outside in the spring and summer to feed the birds in your front or backyard, don't you think? Here's a vintage quilt, and I just love the quilt rack that it's hanging on. There's just so many great items. You really just got to take a look around. Pay attention to these prices because if you're thrifting at the thrift stores for vintage items, then you might be paying too much because our local thrift stores have been overpricing some of the vintage glassware and home decor recently. So you really want to do your homework and do some shopping comparisons before you purchase anything. You might find a much better deal here, y'all. I love this wooden paddle boat because paddle boats are rare. $40. Gosh, this is gorgeous. $29. It's shaped like a leaf. This vendor always has a lot of great stuff. And look at this pair of beautiful floral lamps. You can get both of these lamps with the shades for $34.95, y'all. That's cheaper than you can get them at a thrift store for a pair with the shades. These Bombay sconce shelves are absolutely gorgeous, and he's asking $19.95 for the pair. This vendor sells a lot of stuff really fast, so if you see something that you like in this booth, then you better hurry up and get down here to buy it, because I'm telling you, he sells stuff fast. I want to show you this large Mikasa four-sided crystal tulip bowl. He's only asking $11.95 for it. I love this vintage table. I would love to have it, but he won't sell it. It's not for sale. This L.E. Smith Southern Belle lamp is only $35. I recently saw one of these at one of the local thrift stores, and they were trying to sell it for much higher than that, and they had to keep marking it down because they couldn't sell it at the higher price. And if you've never been to an antique mall before, I want you to know and understand that each vendor does their own pricing. So you might see two different vendors with the exact same item priced differently. This cobalt blue vase is only $9 and the blue bowl is only $8. I have a very special message for you at the end of this video, so make sure you watch all the way through until the end, please. Look at this gorgeous vintage table. It's 5 feet long, it's in really good condition, and they're only asking $125 for it. One of the ladies that work here recently told me there's like 200 or more booths or vendors in this mall. It's a pretty big mall. It's like over 15,000 square feet. This vintage wardrobe is in really great condition, y'all, and they're only asking $160 for this. It's just gorgeous. This step back cabinet is absolutely gorgeous too. Look at how good a condition this one is in, and they're only asking $160 for this piece. Look, y'all, I stopped by a thrift store on the way here, and they were trying to sell a vintage wonky looking lamp for $30. And look at these lamps. They've only got like $35 on these beautiful vintage lamps. So where are you going to do your shopping at? This booth is another favorite of mine to visit because this vendor sells a lot of stuff, so there's always stuff leaving and stuff coming in because as they sell stuff, they're constantly bringing in new items to sell. And look at these lamps. Aren't these fabulous? Pay attention to these prices though, because I'm telling you, they're pricing some of this vintage glassware cheaper than you can find it in the thrift stores right now. This is gorgeous, and you would never find this low of a price at the local thrift stores right now. I had to flip the tag over on this gorgeous bench because it has someone's name on it because it already sold. Pay attention to the pricing on this candy dish, and I want you to know that the thrift stores have been pricing candy dishes higher than this. Make sure you look for red line items. Red line items are items that have a red line through the original price. That means the price has been reduced. This is another really great booth to check out whenever you come to Fantastic Finds. She always has fair prices on the stuff she has displayed in her booth, or at least that's my opinion. Porcelain lamp with bows, $29. The mirror is $39. She has the signed Marvin Bailey jug for $149. This one is also the Marvin Bailey Devil Face Jug for $149. $52.99 for the Shannon crystal vase, and it still has the original tag on it. This booth has been changing out from Christmas. Crystal cruets, $33.98 for both of them. So they're being sold as the pair. Gone with the Wind milk glass three-way lamp is $138. Amber covered butter dish, $25.99 firm. As I was walking through here filming, I kept hearing this whistling and I thought it was on the radio or something, and then I passed by this other woman and she was in here whistling tunes the whole time, and boy, she could really whistle. I've never been able to whistle, but I really liked listening to her whistle because it was so happy and you could just tell she was in a joyful mood. I love this vintage clock booth, and the vendor that operates this booth does repair vintage clocks, so keep that in mind if you like vintage clocks. Super cute for spring, $14. It is hand painted by Fenton Floral Pink. Lists on eBay for $24, and they're selling it for $14 in here. $77 firm for this lingerie. Oh, it's a jewelry chest. This is not lingerie, it's a jewelry chest. And this old dresser is $100. As you can see, some of the booths right back here are a little bit tighter, and there's a lot of stuff in them, and there were a lot of people around this area, so I was trying to film around the other customers, and some ladies were having a very private conversation, so I had to edit out all of the background noise, music, everything to protect their privacy. So ladies, don't worry, I got you covered. This vintage stapler is really cute. She's got some really great things in this booth, and she also has some really good prices, so y'all make sure you stop by and check out this booth. Stay tuned because I got some really important information I'm going to give you next, okay? Alrighty guys, I finished up at Fantastic Finds. I actually went back 2 days in a row because some of my footage didn't turn out as good as I hoped. So I went back to get better footage to make sure I had quality footage for you guys. The one thing I do want to stress is I'm always telling you, if you want to save money, to go to the thrift stores. Go look at the thrift stores for home decor and vintage glassware. Well, I'm not going to tell you that like I used to tell you, because all of the thrift stores have went up on their prices. They're overpricing their home decor and especially vintage items. I actually recently bought a couple of vintage items at thrift stores, and then I went to the local antique mall and they were actually cheaper at the local antique mall. So I'm going to take back what I was telling you before and tell you to go straight to the local antique mall and price whatever you might want to buy there, and then you can check at the thrift store to see if you can get it cheaper. I always try to give you guys information that I go by myself when I'm out shopping to save money. So I will always try to update or correct myself if I need to. And this is one of those times when I really feel like I need to. Some of the thrift store pricing has gotten ridiculous, especially on the vintage items. I've heard you guys complain about it. I've had people tell me, you say go to this store because it's cheaper, and I went to that store and it's not cheaper. I get it. I hear you. And I do not control the pricing at any of the stores, whether it's the thrift stores, the antique malls, wherever. I do not control that pricing. I just try to tell you when I find good bargains, and there for a while I was finding some really good bargains at the thrift stores. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate you watching. I hope to see you again for the next video. Love ya.